He's very dumb. This character is best played in the anchor position. There are a few reasons. But we'll get into that later. Let's look at his normals first. So, you know how the last Kyo we played only had a close A from Kyo? Here's the opposite. He's only got a fire A. There's no close A here. No close jab. It works like any other stand A, essentially. This is great for tagging short hops. And that's about it. Stop hopping. That's all that is. Really, that's all that is. 5B! This is a standing low. I think it is. Yes, it is. Here's your standing low that you have. For some reason. What can you get off your standing low? Yeah. You can even just get... Whoops. Hey. That. Doesn't hit all the way though. But you do have it. 5C is kind of like regular Kyo 5C. However, there is one really interesting difference with this normal. You can cancel. Ooh! I can cancel my 5C. So this is interesting for pressure. You can stick this out to beat some stuff, and then you can cancel it. Like that. This also means if it happens to hit, you can get that. That's a hard knockdown, by the way. So if that happens to hit, there are stuff you can get from it. Hey, that's cool. So here's a 5B. This is like regular Kyo 5B with one difference. Some characters can crouch this. I don't know the list exactly, but if they're like medium, small, or shorter, they will actually crouch this 5B entirely. However, if you can't crouch it, this is a very annoying poke. It's like Kyo's, but it's faster, I think? And it also recovers a bit better. So this is really annoying to deal with if you can't crouch it. Because you're gonna be just getting poked by this a lot. If he feels like it. Far D is interesting. Remember Kyo's close C? Or close D? You know, that roundhouse kick? Here's a fire D that it's just bad. This also means it's ridiculously fast, by the way. This is a frame 6 fire D. This is extremely fast. This can beat certain lows depending on the spacing. But moreover, it hits every character crouching. Almost, I think. I think it might only whiff on, like, Bao and like, Choi. But this hits damn near every character crouching. And it's fast. It's really fast. So this is, like, good to stick out there when you're running. I mean, look at it. You can run up and do this. This is just, like, this will check a lot of things if people are late. You can't cancel this normal, though. You can cancel this one, but not that other one. Close C! This is a funny normal. This is a good close C for combos. Pressure, you name it. It's pretty standard close C. However, and I'm going to post the image in chat, and I'm going to actually, you know what, I'm going to embed the image on my stream. Because the people deserve to see this. This close normal has some properties. See that? What does that blue hitbox mean? That is auto guard. And what is auto guard? In KOF, there's a mechanic called auto guard. What auto guard does is it acts as if you are blocking. Which means if anything hits that auto guard hitbox, it will count as blocking the move. And you will continue to do whatever move you're doing uninterrupted. Kyo-2's close C has auto guard frames during the startup. So, in scenarios where you are hitting them, and they maybe mash out of like a stagger. Like, I don't know. Can you take chip damage? I actually have never checked. Probably? I don't know, maybe not. That's a good question. I'm unsure. I would have to test that. I just know that when you auto guard something, it's treated like blocking. I would imagine you might, but I'm not sure. I would have to refer to the Dream Cancel wiki. Hold up. I'm gonna do that right now. Hold on. Do they have... They don't have anything on it. I would assume yes. That's a safe assumption. Is that, yeah, you can. Wait. I'm not positive. But this close C has auto guard. So if you're doing just your standard Kyo pressure, which is this, and I'll explain why this is good later. That is an unmashable string. They're not mashing that. Because if they try, they're either going to lose to the frames on that 5C, and if, God willing, they have a move fast enough to get out before this, the odds of it being auto-guarded are really high. Based on the embedded image on the stream, you can just see. Now, why does Kyo-2 close C have auto-guard? I don't know. But it does. It has it. It doesn't need it, but it has it. And close D! This is an interesting normal. This is a very interesting normal. So, it's frame 6, it's the same speed as this. It's just you get this little up kick here, little upward kick. Doesn't seem particularly great. But, if you tag someone in the air, something interesting happens. They're launched. Now they can quick recovery from that, so this isn't like a hard knockdown or anything. Oh, he gets up. But, if you're fast, this is really hard to do. You can do that. That's right! You get a hard knockdown! How cool! If this is a counter hit, you get any juggle you want. They are in juggle state until they hit the ground. So if they're doing an air normal, and you get that, you can do some wacky things. Like you can do, I mean, shit, you can do this. That's a juggle! Go ahead, do it! You get whatever the hell you want. Like, I think even that, the run grab will hit. Maybe? Yep. So, I mean, you just get basically anything from this. Super? Yes. But even still, I would recommend just doing that, if you get your hard knockdown. But that's what's interesting about that. It's a good normal. It's a nice normal to have in the pocket. Moving on to crouching normals, it's a lot like Kyo-2. 2A is like a standard good low jab. However, worth noting, Kyo-2 is actually +1 on a lot of these, which is great. That's absolutely great for pressure. So, I can be like this. And I'm relatively safe on block. This is hard to contest unless they're really paying attention. Same with this move. That 2B? Oh, stellar. This has a better hitbox than Kyo-1's. I think it's about the same as Kusanagi's, which means it's like KOF98 almost. Very good hitbox, +1 on block. That's a really, really pristine normal, to be quite honest. Like, I think I do have the hitbox image for this. Look at how nice that is. Look at that. That's such a great hitbox. On your real fast low poke, look at that. Beautiful. That is +1 on block. That is extremely useful. This is like one of your primary run-up pressure tools, easily. Always do this. They're gonna be expecting you to be short hopping at them, and they're just always gonna get clipped by this. And if you want to be funny, you can just do the standing low too. The standing low you also have. How cool! 2C, this is just like Kyo's. So it's this is an emergency anti-air once again. You don't want to anti-air with this most of the time, unless you really have to. But it's there. It's alright. Now, what I'm sure everybody's really curious about is, 2D, right? What the hell is that? You probably saw me do this a little earlier when I was playing. This is actually just his sweep. He does not have a 3D command normal like every other Kyo. Or, well, like, regular Kyo and Kusanagi, sorry. He just has this as his sweep, which is really weird. But it's important that it's weird. So the first hit is actually cancelable. That's the big thing about this. It has, like, no pushback either. So no matter what range you hit this at, you are getting whatever you want. You can just... every time. Max range? I'm gonna do that. Literally, the peak possible range, you will still get Rekka. You will still get this. You can just let it rock and get the hit. That's not a hard knockdown, but I mean... As far as sweeps go, it's pretty useful. Especially because you can special cancel it like that. You can't cancel it into command normals or anything though, so... Nothing wild like going from that into an overhead, but it is special cancelable, which is really handy. And a staple in just like, you can basically treat it kind of like Guile's sweep, but you can special cancel the first hit. Which is helpful. Which makes it a great low poke as well. So if you're going for a low poke and you're pretty confident it will hit, you can just do this, and then just confirm Rekka. Whatever you want. I feel like I've talked about CD before. But here's something cool. On hit, it actually is a hard knockdown, so that's cool. Otherwise, it's just like regular Kyos and Kyo-1s. You can whiff cancel it. Mixy. But otherwise, it's pretty unremarkable. Jump normals are a different beast entirely. Ready to see Kyo-2's Jump B? This is where people might think, damn, this is like trash. Why would I play this? I don't blame them. Look at this JB. So, this one's interesting. This does not hit crouchers at all. Whoa. I'm playing Kyo and I can't JB. This, however, does have a good hitbox for air-to-air, especially if you're rising up to meet them. So, if they are, say, jumping at me, if they are coming at me, oh boy, I'm gonna come up and meet them. This normal's good for that. It's got a great hitbox for that. There are other reasons it's good, we'll get into that later. But at face value, that's what you'd use it for. You can sometimes hit people standing too. It has a cross-up hitbox. It's very picky. But it can cross up. In very, 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 very specific circumstances, which we'll get into later as well. This will cross up. Like that. For the most part, it's unremarkable though. JA, more of that. Not great. Unlike Kyo-1, this does not hit 5 years behind his ass, so this one doesn't see a lot of use. JC is also just okay. But this Kyo is an example of taking all the power in every normal and like every jump normal that Kyo has and concentrating it into one extremely unstoppable force. And that is this move. This JD. This JD right here. At face value, it's pretty good already. It's got good reach. Comes out fast. It seems pretty active too. Wow. Like, whoa, that's got great reach. Great speed, so you can just jump in with this and like pressure. Sounds good. What else can it do? Cross up very, 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 very easily, as it turns out. On top of being pretty hard to anti-air, this normal will also do this. And yes, you can get whatever you want off of this cross-up. You want to do 5C and do a combo? Oh! Sure! You want to do another one into another cross-up? Sure. Who cares if it hits or if it's blocked? Let's do it. You want to tilt your opponent to like the next dimension? You can do that with this normal. This normal is insane. This jump normal is ridiculous. It does everything you could possibly want it to do. Oh, you want to hyper jump over here? You want to hyper hop here? Like, learn the distances this will cross up, and you can start applying it in ways that are just ridiculous. Look at that! That wasn't a cross up! That hit before it crossed up! But you still ended up on the other side! Fuck it! Just do it! You're playing Kyo-2, do this shit all the time. Just hop at them, if they're crouch blocking, they're gonna hold this shit. Look at that. Crazy. Insane. Honestly unreal. And then the other good jump normally has, which every Kyo-2 should be doing this too, so pay close attention. There, that's it. Just like regular Kyo, you wanna... Look at that! Ugh! Yeah! Woo! I threw up in my mouth a little with that one. Holy cow! I don't know what side you blocked that on, but... maybe the developers know. I'm sure they'd be nice enough to tell me one day. But that's your big pressure. These are your two jump-ins you want to use. JCD, if you know they're going to block. And then JD, if you know they're going to get hit by the cross-up, which they are. They always are. You're never not going to get hit by this cross-up. Nobody's blocking this all the time. Especially not when you can just empty low and then or empty grab, empty low. Empty grab is ridiculous too, because you just do like, look at that! Come on. Cheap. It's cheap! It's good. Spent this whole guide talking about very specific uses for these buttons, here's one that has the specific use of everywhere. If you're just jumping, you can do this. So that's his best jump normal for sure. It's JD. Absolutely JD. Now that we've covered all of his oh wait, command normals, right. This Kyo's got some unique command normals that I do feel the need to mention. So, first off, J2C. This is important. I mean, look at it. It's just like Kyo's J2C, except the hitbox kinda sucks. I do mean that. It is unfortunate. This hitbox sucks. However, it's good for a very specific reason. Well, outside of being a hard knockdown, and, you know, doing every other thing that J2C did besides having a good hitbox, which, I mean, honestly, is fine. It also... Oh my god. It can also come out of JB. So if you land a JB and you're not hopping, you can't do this from a short hop. I do need to specify. But if you're doing a full hop, you can do that. You can do an air target combo. And this is really good. This is really good for a number of reasons, but mostly the fact that they have to block both those hits overhead. And if you're thinking, well, I don't get anything on hit, do I? You do. You absolutely do. If they block, if they don't block the first hit or the second hit, you will always get 2D. Always. And from that, you can do that, and you can keep the pressure on, because even if they quick recover, which I'm going to demonstrate is on, even if they quick recover, they can't quick recover from the run grab knockdown. Which means you can keep looping this for as long as you want. As long as they permit you to do it, you can keep doing it. So if they're not going to anti-air you and they just want to block, and if this is blocked, you are still safe because it's J2C. It is still J2C. It still has that ridiculous amount of block stun and that pushback. You are fine. Look at that. They blocked it, big deal. I'm just gonna keep pressuring. Shit, if you're feeling really creative, you can do like... You just start doing that now. Whoa! Whatever. Keep it up. Keep going. So that's part of why this J2C is very good. It also can be done out of a backdash, which, just like in KOF98, lets you move back really far. Not that you'd ever want to retreat with this character, but if you want to get the hell out of whatever bad scenario you put yourself in, that's pretty good. Extends your backdash to about half screen. So hey, that's cool. The other command normally he has is Thundering Axe Burst for this thing. So this is a 2-hit move, where the second hit is an overhead. It is the old Kyo 6B, and the motion is still the same, it is still 6B. However, normally when Kyo cancels into the 6B, it doesn't speed up. So it's still 12 frame startup for the first hit, right? Like, I'm just gonna use Kusanagi as an example, because he's the only one who has Thundering Axe Burst, like, exactly like that. So, like, if I do like that, the startup is still the same. So I can only do, like, something like that to get it to combo. You gotta do close C. Like, okay, sure. A bit of a limitation, but it's still a good 2-hit overhead, right? Well, Kyo-2 has a lot to say about that. If you cancel into Kyo-2's overhead, it actually gets faster. Now, it stops being an overhead. I should mention that it's not an overhead on the second hit if you cancel into it, just like any other command normal in KOF. However, unlike any other incarnation of this command normal, the first hit hits on frame 9 instead of frame 12, which means you can get this to combo off of lights. And that makes this really unique and good. That's really good. For Kyo-2, that is excellent. That's a very important thing to know about this character. That is hugely important, because that increases the damage you get from light confirms exponentially. you get so much more mileage because you have a command normal now that just does that. Like, you can do pressure like that with RED kick, you can... Oh my god, it's crazy. You get a cross-up, I think you can actually just get... Maybe not, the run grab is a bit too slow. But there are uses for this that I'll get into later. But those are the command normals he has. He's only got 2, but they're very useful. Also, this is a good overhead. I mean, even on its own, this is a solid overhead. Comes out really fast. Unlike regular Kyos, it doesn't animate a whole lot, so it's not as easy to see. So as far as being harder to see coming, this one definitely counts. Next up, special moves! He's got quite a few, so let's go over it all, shall we? Rekka! Yep, works like Kyos, almost. On hit, you get all the standard follow-ups. You've got 236 A or C, which is that. And from that, you can do another 236 A. Actually, no, you just hit A or C, sorry. Hit A or C to get that. If you hit B or D, you get the kick. So that's important. You know, that's... If you hit with the jab Rekka, this is probably one of the most common confirms you're gonna do. You want to do that one. It hits the most reliably. And I would say it gives you the best corner carry for your mileage. If you're in the corner, this is the one you want to do though, because you get a hard knockdown. That is a hard knockdown. So, primer with the light Rekka. At your hard knockdown, do that in the corner. If you're mid-screen, do this. So it's not a hard knockdown, but you still get lots of pressure. However, the light Rekka has another follow-up. If you do 63214A, you get this. This is the overhead. This overhead has many weird properties, including low profiling certain super moves, point blank, just because of how his hurt box moves. You can go through Kim's super. The launching kick super. This will actually phase right through it and punish him. This is almost never useful, but it's funny, so I felt like I should mention it anyways. But that's an overhead, and it also is a hard knockdown, which is really cool. And if you press P after it hits, you can punch them in the head. And it's still a hard knockdown, by the way. However, the fun with this Rekka, or this follow-up, isn't even that. I mean, that's fun. That's a great hard knockdown, great for pressure. But the fun is when they block. I know what you're thinking. Why would you want them to block? Are you stupid? I mean, the answer is yes, because I'm playing this character. But normally on block there, you're like, damn, they blocked my Rekka overhead. That was my mix-up. I feel vulnerable and afraid and alone. But fear not. That is an instant guard crush! And why is that important? Well, if you have any meter, because you will. This is an anchor character, mostly, so you're definitely going to have some bar. If that hits... If that guard crush happens, you can super cancel. That is free damage. That is just straight up and unblockable. There is nothing they can do about that. I mean, the guard crush itself... You're only -4, so even if you don't super cancel it, you're not unsafe. But super canceling that, that's just free damage. It's also really weird to time. So if somebody is just very block happy on your Rekka, that's a free can opener. That is just free. Every time. And if you're in the corner, and you want to make that a hard knockdown guard crush, there's your hard knockdown guard crush. You want it, you have it. It might even work mid-screen, who knows? Oh, good. It does. Never mind. It's anywhere. Do that. Do that super instead. Get your hard knockdown. Get your hard knockdown, take your turn. My turn. Mom said it's my turn to have this. I'm gonna have it. So if you're playing, like, somebody that is literally just blocking everything you do, tell them to keep blocking. Tell them to keep blocking. I'll show you. I'll show you to keep blocking. So that's the main use of that. You can also super cancel like every other Rekka follow-up for some reason. I don't know why. I guess like for guard damage. I mean, if you want, I don't know. But they let him do it. It's weird that he can, but he can do it. It's very odd. There's no juggles involving that either. Well, maybe? Maybe? Yeah, no, like, it's no juggle, nothing. I don't know why they do that. But they let it happen. They're nice, I guess. And now we're gonna move on to C Rekka, which is a lot simpler. Oh, right, one thing I should mention. If your A Rekka is blocked, don't stop. Please don't stop doing follow-ups. This move is horrendous unblocked. I will not stress that enough. This is minus fucking 15. So if this gets blocked, just do anything, please. Even that. Because just stopping? And just something I still do too, and it's a mistake I make. Do not treat this like regular Kyo Rekka. This is absolutely super minus. This is not like a poke like that. So if you get this, and they block it, you want to keep going. Because I guarantee you, it's safer on block to keep going and hope they block. Then instead of being minus 15, you're not quite in that scenario. Even this, I think, is safer. Yeah, that is. So, do not just do this and then stop. Don't treat it like regular Kyo Rekka. Next up, we got this one. This one's cool. This one goes far. I think it has auto guard. The other one, this one has auto guard too, but it's very brief. This is the one that goes like nearly half screen. This is a common confirm. That's what this one's mostly used for, so this. Because it's only got one follow-up. 63214P, and then forward P. P, I keep on saying P. 63214 A or C, and then 6C. That's it. Those are the only follow-ups it has. You can't super cancel any of them natively. But they are all there. You get a knockdown from that, you can get some pressure. So like if you get this, you know, standard JD, go crazy, go crazy, go stupid, whatever. Whatever you want to say. This will almost always hit from max range 2D. Something you need to know. Like from max range, the first hit of this, you will always get this, which is good. That's a staple. It's a very regular confirm, very standard. You want to do that. And you can do run grab too, but if this gets blocked, this is -9, which is not great, but it's better than -15. So take your small wins, right? Little W. But that's all this Rekka really is used for. Max combos and a confirm. So, hey, it does have its purposes. Next up, run grab. It's like Kusanagi's except worse, but still good, but worse. What's worse about it? The startup. Startup is worse. I believe Kusanagi's is like 10 frames? Hold on. 12 frames, right. And Kyo-2's is 14, so it's 2 frames slower. Important, because, so certain scenarios it won't combo in the same way. But generally speaking, your general confirms into it are all going to be the same. Even though it's slower, you can still get it from all of your heavies. It mostly means you can't get it from things like... That won't work. That just absolutely won't work anymore. So unlike Kusanagi, you don't have that privilege. But hey, it's still a good move because it's hard knockdown. It's good damage. It's basically everything you'd want in an ender. So if you're doing like a confirm and you see that your normal hits and you're like, oh man, I'm gonna run my stupid Oki now. Yeah, you're right, you are gonna run it. This will still confirm off of most things. The heavy version is generally not used outside of max combos, so don't worry about it. Just do the light version. The damage is the same. The only thing that changes is the startup and the frame advantage on block. And the heavy is worse in almost every way. But max mode, thankfully, you know, helps mitigate that problem. Next, we're going to talk about RED kick. Yeah! This move is good. It is fairly safe on block. It is not an overhead. One thing I need to mention. But on crouch block, it is pretty safe. Oh, I didn't set the guard. I was gonna say, am I having a stroke? Yeah. So it's actually pretty safe on crouch block. It has pretty high pushback. And since they're pushed back so far, even though you're like -5 or -7 or something, it's hard to find a punish. It's very not easy. Oh, excuse me! You're -3! That's really good. You're -3 on that. You're -5 if they stand block. So if they are stand guarding, you're -5. Still very hard to punish. The trade-offs, just like with regular Kyo RED kick, it's slow. It's pretty telegraphed. It's not super hard to anti-air if they're paying attention to you. But as a random option that goes over like many grounded normals and like every crouching normal, it works. It works remarkably well. The heavy one is about as safe. It goes further, but it's really slow. And it's still not an overhead. But it is still really safe. So the heavy one you normally don't use very much. Like if you're doing this, you're definitely making a hard read on what they're doing. But this one is like a standard poke. Whereas this one is like, I'm committing to going like damn near half screen very slowly. Instead of just running at you. This can go over fireballs. So sometimes you can see it go over fireballs. But otherwise, not great. The light version is a lot better. A lot better. And then last and certainly not least, Kyo-2's DP. You've got an A version and you've got a C version. Want to know what DP to use? Never the A version. Do you want to know why you never want to use the A DP? What could it be? Is it really that bad? It's trash. It is so bad. It is so bad. It has no invincibility at all. None. Absolutely zero. I'm not even making that up. There is no invincibility on that move at all. Watch this. I'm gonna try and counter poke this blowbag. It is fast, but I mean, if it's not gonna be safe on block, what's the point? It has no invincibility. I'm gonna get counter hit, and you're gonna know what I mean. It's hard to time. But this DP has no invincibility. There you go, you heard it? You heard it! You even heard him go, "Wodia!" And what happens? It sucks. See DP? Thank God! I have a DP. This one has startup invincibility. But, when it's active, it only has upper body invincibility. So it's got some full invincibility at the beginning. But, the moment it hits, you've only got upper body iframes. So, what does that mean? It means that it's very good as an anti-air, not great as a general invincible DP. Like, sometimes. If they're doing a low meaty, bad. If they're not doing a low meaty, good. So if you're going to DP, do like your Psychic Shoryukens, never do the A version. Ever. If you're gonna DP anything, do the C version. Always. Always do the C version. Never the A version. Just forget ADP exists. Don't even think about it. Seal it from your brain. No matter how many times you've played Kyo and KOF, it's not the same here. I think that's all of his specials. I feel like we've gone through all of them now. Oh wait, maybe not. Wait. Oh, no, yeah, we've gotten all of them. Let's move on to super moves. So, first up, Final Showdown. This is a classic super. Big ass pillar. It hits as high as it looks like it would, by the way. The pillar is literally the hitbox. So, if they are jumping, they're gonna get hit by the pillar. It's a reality of life. The heavy version is actually slower. I don't know why, it just is. It's 2 frames slower. Normally the super is frame 6, but the heavy version is frame 8. I don't know. Still combos from a light, but you're better off doing the A version most of the time, because it's just faster. The damage is the same. It's literally just startup. I don't know why. It's just, it is how it is. This super is good for a number of things. You end your max mode combos with it if you don't want to spend more than 1 bar. You hit confirm with it. The classic KOF98 combo. Stays alive generation to generation. You'll always have 2B2A Final Showdown. Always. It will never leave you. It will never ever leave you. You will always have it. But yeah, otherwise it's just a standard super. But next super that Kyo-2 has is like the most invincible move in the game. Shinryuken! So why is this super good? Holy shit, the iframes. I'm pretty sure this has at least 18 invincibility frames, starting from frame 1. So the important thing about this super is if you press nothing after a hit, you just get that. I mean, okay. But if you input a DP, so 623, and then B or D as it's hitting, you get that little kick there. And that kick is important. You have to time it depending on, you know, what character you're fighting and how high they are. You can do it early to make it safe, like, just for safety's sake. Like, I want it to hit. That kick makes this super a hard knockdown. So on top of all those invincibility frames you got, You also get Oki? Wow. That's really good. Is there a catch? I mean, this is like awful on block. But otherwise, not really. If you're plowing through a move with this... Just get your hard knockdown. Take your turn. Take your cross up, whatever you want. It's wild. And for KOF, this is really weird too, because KOF does not normally have really invincible level 1 supers. But this one is definitely an exception to the rule. It's extremely invincible. So if you want to like go through a move, or if you're confident you can get through something on Wake Up, this is a frame 7, just extremely fast, extremely invincible get off me. That leads to a hard knockdown for 1 bar. Honestly, not a bad trade-off. So keep this super in mind. Remember it's there. Remember it's there, because it's very good. It's a very good super. Next up, level 2. It's exactly what you think it would do. It's final showdown again. Still confirms off of lights, by the way. Does a lot of damage, is fast. Costs more meter. But all the same, you get good damage. So hey, that's pretty cool. And next up, the most unique hidden super danger move in the game. At face value, it's already really good. Because this thing can just be comboed into with no issue. It's unbelievably fast. This thing is frame 3. It's not invincible while he's running, but if he is right next to you when he uses it, it comes out immediately at frame 3. That is a frame 3. So if they are like about this close, I want to say? Yeah, immediately. So if they're like -4 on block, and you buffer this, that's straight up a punish. That is a punish. This thing is fast. Does a lot of damage. Look at the damage on that. Nearly half-life. Fast, does a lot of damage, is invincible when it's out. So he's not invincible while he runs, but when he's attacking, he is invincible. So not only is it frame 3, it is pretty invincible. It is also only -8 on block. That's right. If they block this, you're only -8. So the punish they get is like, if they have bar, maybe a max combo, depending on the pushback. Maybe. But even then, I'm not point blank, so like Kyo wouldn't get his max combo without some adjustments. So you've got all that going on. But this hidden super danger move, for whatever reason, and it's the only one in the game that I've found that has this property, it can be free cancelled from any normal on hit or whiff. So if you whiff a move, you can buffer it no matter what. Oh, I whiffed my far D, and you went to punish it. Oh, my sweep? My like 20 plus frame sweep? And you can do it at any point, as long as you have the bar, and you're at low life. I don't know why it has this property. The only move it doesn't work from is the overhead, for some reason. But you can cancel out of the overhead on hit into it, by the way. So if you hit overhead, that's a combo from an overhead for no quick max. You don't have to quick max it. That is just straight up a combo. So if you're on low life with this character, you've got 3 bars, and you decide, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna open them up. I'm gonna open them up with my cool overhead. And it hits. That is half their life. And I'm pretty sure you get Oki too. A little. Not a lot, but you are not minus by any stretch. Well, we've gone over all of his moves now. Let's go over some basic combos and game plan now. My favorite. Also, his throws are the same. So you've got your standard forward throw that you can quick recover. Not great. You do it to get space. And you have your D throw, which is a hard knockdown. Which is ridiculous on this character, and we'll get into that. But let's look at some basic combos. Here's some JD starters. Is that? Is that? Now, let's look at some light confirms. I know, it seems pretty underwhelming, but that is what you're gonna get. Sometimes even just that, but... There you go. From cross-up JD, you can also do... Or you can do like... something like that. And now we're going to look at other things. I think you have the 2D combos, so at any range you can always get that. And basically any record you want. So you can freestyle if you want. You can pick optimal, you can just do like that. You have lots of options from 2D. They're all good. So just pick one. Now we're gonna go into max mode combos. The common max mode combo with this character involves a pretty standard loop. It's very satisfying to do. So, you want to go like this. Like that. That's your basic max mode combo. What does it look like when you quick max with it? Like that. It's good damage, right? Let's look at it from a JD, your primary mix-up tool. These take a bit of practice, and it's recommended that you use a BC bypass route, which is a lot easier. So here's the easy route. It's still pretty good damage. But these are the hard parts. I wouldn't recommend practicing these until you've played with Kyo-2 in a few matches and you've learned how to play the character in neutral. This comes later, but I'm gonna put it here for reference's sake. You can also do anything involving lights. You can also confirm, like, if you get a 2B, you can make the most of it. I used to be really bad at this combo. But like this. And get your good damage. Take your damage. And of course, it still works from a JD. It's very hard to do, but I can do it. Oh, I'm bad at getting the super to come out. There we go. There, look at that damage. You can also get... Oh, so bad at getting the super. Lots of damage. A lot of damage for 3 bars. But that's stuff you want to learn later. What is his general game plan? Well, you saw Kyo-1 and how he was more defensive. This character is all about offense. You want to be doing a lot of this, and a lot of this. Lots of JCD and neutral as well. If you want to force some respect out of them, it's got a nice hitbox, it's good for pressure. If they block it, you're very safe. And of course, JD. JD the GOAT normal. You want to be rushing down with this all the time. You want to be doing this, and you want to be moving around real quick, mixing them up with short JDs, because you can get so much damage from just a random JD hitting. Especially if you've got meter, if you have this character in anchor position, where he really thrives. Just make it really threatening to get hit by a JD, because then they're gonna get pulled into this really damaging combo. And I mean, you can even do a simple combo and still get good damage, like that. You can even do like, because you can super cancel that. If you don't want to learn a max mode combo, you can still do like a buttload of damage with 2 bars, and if you have 4 bars, you can do like... Look at that! From a JD! That's like a 4-bar beginner combo. And that did like... not as much as the max combo for less meter, but... if you're just starting out, it's a lot easier than doing this. It's a lot easier than doing that. But that's his general game plan. You just want to be poking at them with 5B every now and then. You want to run and do 2B because you're +1 on block. If they block this, it is still good. It's still +1. You have that amazing hitbox, which I'm going to pull back up onto the screen. Again, you've got this +1 on block normal. You've got your awesome 5B, you've got your great overhead, your just ridiculous JD. And now we're gonna go over D throw setups. So this throw is a hard knockdown, and you want to scout for this throw because, oh my god. Does this character ever become impossible to block? So not only does this throw force back turn, which is really gimmicky and goofy and good. Please move hitbox. Oh, you're right. Excuse me. So this is really good. For whatever reason, since this does back turn, if they are doing a wake up DP, they'll go the other way. If you're over on this side. So if you're right over on the to the right of them here, like right there, and you hit them with a meaty, if they do a wake up DP there, they will actually go the wrong way. Let me set him to stand guard and it'll actually demonstrate. Check this out. he should not turn around, I believe, until he blocks. So basically, if they do a wake-up DP there, they are back turns. Which means all sorts of weird things happen. They basically DP backwards. Really handy. But, if they don't DP and they just try and block, you can be really tricky here. You have the ambiguous JD. What way is that gonna hit? I don't know, to be honest. Look at that's crazy. You've got that. You've got empty jump, grab them again. You can go low. And God forbid you go low. If you go low, it's really bad for them. Because they can get hit by... Whoops. This is tough to do, but once you get it down pat, it's great. Oh, I'm bad at it. If you go low, you can do the empty low into max mode. You can also just empty low them with this. That's really good. It's still just as hard to see, and if you do that, you can do all sorts of cheese, like now hard knockdown again, we got JD, and if they end up mid-screen still, like if you're in this scenario, that's a hard knockdown into some more bullshit, because of course it is. So, D-throw is important. You almost always want to go for this throw, because you'll always get something. And then if they decide I'm going to block on wake up, you can still mess with that. With that. You can definitely do that. You can be like... If they decide I'm going to block... Okay. You're guard crushed now. Really cool. Sadly, you can't do that in the hidden super danger move. I wish you could, but... We don't live in a pure enough world. And if you're in max mode, this is a free cancel. So if you do max activation, you can spend 1 bar. 1 bar guard crush setup. Activate, get the throw. Make your friends real sad. That's the basic gist of Kyo-2. You want to rush down with your JD. You want to do this a lot. Oh my god, yeah, you can also do this. If you're near the corner, you can do the, That's really cursed, I forgot about that. I forgot how fucked up that was. So if they're like right near the corner, but not quite in it? Yo, Kyo is super fun in this game. That is a setup. That's not even like... That's a cross-up. So you can do that. You can also do that if you want. I mean... People won't like you, but I will like you if you do that in a game. Man. This character's messed up. Oh, and if you're wondering, do I get anything from that? Yes, you do. At least you should. It's the J2C hit, so obviously it's gonna give you a hit stun. I think for other throw mix-ups you can do like that. Because they're knocked down, you have all the time in the world to set that up. You can do that. That is really funny too. Just kind of jump right by them. Yeah, this character can be very difficult to defend against. The double overhead is really great. Either way, that's the basic guide to both of these Kyos. It's very simple stuff that I just explained. It's basically meant if you're just getting into KOF and you've not played some of the other ones, or you don't know how Kyo works. I'm gonna have to cut this VOD and like upload each individual part. But that's the brief summary of Kyo-1 and Kyo-2. They are very weird characters that offer a unique gameplay experience compared to regular Kyo. And I think they're both worth playing. But considering my team is literally just Kyo-1, Kyo, and Kyo-2, I might not be a reliable source of who is worth playing in this game or not, because I just play Kyo in this game. Either way, thank you everybody who came out and watched. I will be putting these VODs onto my YouTube. At some point, I'll definitely have the highlights on Twitch. I hope people learned stuff. I hope it was helpful, a good resource. If anybody ever wants to pick up Kyo-1 or Kyo-2, please do. They are both extremely fun characters. And they are both worth playing. For a quick summary of where I would rank Kyo-1 and Kyo-2 in terms of where you should put them on your team and how you should use them. Kyo-1 should be your point character, absolutely. I think Kyo-1 doesn't have a lot of crazy stuff with meter, and he's generally better suited to build it for you because he's got very good meterless damage. Most of his good pressure options don't stem from the fact that he has bar, and his damage extenders don't often cost meter, but you can spend a bit to get more damage if you need it. So he's a great choice as a point character because he has all the tools you need to play a pretty simple, you know, meterless game, which the other Kyos don't have. Outside of Kusanagi, who is a lot harder to play. Because Kusanagi also has a good low confirm, which is... Let me get it. Oh! It's also hard to do. It's the thing. Kusanagi's low confirm is hard. You think I'm gonna get it, you might be wrong. God. I'm gonna get it. There, that. That's your low confirm with Kusanagi. But it's a lot harder. Versus Kyo-1, which is just... that. That's it. Woo! But yeah, Kyo-1 has a very easy low confirm with good damage. And he's got Oki from it, that's also really good. Just to re-demonstrate, if they decide to quick recover, you still have that. And that is just straight up a setup. You can throw, you can go low again. You can keep looping it. You've got all sorts of good options for damage. And all that from a low. It's really nice. From a low that's really simple to confirm. Very, very simple to confirm. But he generally has the toolkit suited for a point character. You want to run him at the front of your team so you can build the meter that your other characters are going to need. Kyo-2, on the other hand, can be fit into two positions. The first one and his best one is Anchor. I think Anchor Kyo-2 is absolutely where he shines the most because, again, you've seen the damage you can get in the max mode stuff from just basic JD cross-ups. You can just do a very simple JD cross-up into that and just get massive damage. Even if you have not learned max mode, even if you don't like have the ability to do max mode combos, he's got very simple ways for you to dump meter and just do mad damage. And once you do know max mode, you can dump meter for, you can dump a bit less meter for like more damage. From just your basic cross-up. That's so easy to space, it's honestly insane. Like, this cross-up is not hard to space at all. You don't have to practice this as much as you'd think. It's very simple. It's a very easy cross-up to hit. Now, confirming off of it is pretty hard, but that's what the practice is for. But he is best served as an anchor character for that reason, in my opinion. That's where he stands out. You can also run him in the middle, where you have a little bit of meter, but it's a little harder, and I think he's just much better as an anchor character than he is up front or anywhere where you don't have a lot of bar. But yeah, that's my rough summary of both of them.